15 minutes in the making, 15 minutes of the fame, 15 minutes of the fast cars and icy chains. I'm addicted to the fast life, it's so insane. 15 minutes in the making, 15 minutes of the fame. 15 minutes in the making, 15 minutes of the fame, 15 minutes of the fast cars and icy chains. I'm addicted to the fast life, it's so insane. 15 minutes in the making, 15 minutes of the fame.
Go.
Welcome to 15 Minutes of Fame. This is your handsome host, Khalil Murray, a.k.a. Kaiser. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh to the Muslims and everybody else. Salute. So we here at like the 23rd episode, I believe, right? And we climbing. And that's been one of my joints that I usually put up when I'm posting hashtag the climb. Thinking about, the process of going higher and continuing with the acceleration of, going forward and trying to keep a certain momentum. And, had I really kept that up with this podcast, I'd probably be up to like 60, 70 episodes. But a lot of different times I had taken breaks, different things was going on in my life and stuff like that. And so I ain't remained consistent as I've been trying to be as of late. But I'm hoping to, make that kind of change, something that is good for, people in the audience who like to listen to some of the topics and things that I talk about with whatever y'all might be getting from it, whether it's energy, whether it's information, some positivity and things like that. Because I be feeling like, enough of that sometimes ain't given. And in my situation and where I'm at in this prison, it ain't flourishing and going around a lot. So, that's kind of like one of the things I try to do. I try to keep climbing, like around the dudes that I'm around. Like, get away from me. That be my joint sometimes, because a lot of the times, if you ever feel like you're unique, or that you might be in a group of people, with a group of people, and, you see things differently. You might be around your brothers or your sisters, your cousins, your aunts and uncles, and they might be discussing something and talking about things. And their perspective or the way that they think that they should handle something or something should be taken care of, you see it differently or you see it a better way. And a lot of times, I'm going to say enough times, I ain't going to say a lot of times, I'm going to say enough times, I always had that kind of feeling when it came to a lot of different things that has gone on in my life. And different times I was in, certain circles around people. And here in prison, a lot of dudes, you can see the light ain't in their eyes no more. Whether it's from family members turning their backs on them, they love interests turning their backs on them, the courts shooting them down and, denying them relief at every stage, from the lower courts to superior to Supreme Court up to the federal courts. Like, a lot of that stuff can be exhausting. You'd be waiting a year and a half to almost 2 years, hoping for some relief, hoping the court's going to show you some love, and then you get the papers in the mail and they say denied. And stuff like that can be exhausting. And stuff like that can leave a dude feeling defeated. And a lot of times, it can be the death of a loved one and things like that. Sometimes it's been dudes who I'm aware of who all they had was a particular person in their life, and then that family member died, passed away, unfortunately, by the permission of Allah. And then now, a dude go to having nobody. And so I can understand to a degree how dudes might feel a certain kind of way in here, like that's it, like, there's no more hope. To a degree. But for me, how I am and how I feel, and which I'm gonna say that I feel blessed. And I am blessed, and I hope that I show enough gratitude.
Phoenix State Correctional Institution.
This call is subject to recording and monitoring.
So I hope that I show enough gratitude with the blessing of the ability to kind of have ambition and continue on with the things that I've gone through, getting denied at certain times from the courts, losing loved ones, in and out of different relationships. Things like that. But my thing was to always forge forward. Keep climbing. You know what I'm saying? And if I'm around dudes who ain't of a certain caliber, to keep me motivated or to push me or to encourage me to maybe do better, then I got to climb and get away from y'all. we ain't on the same level. And out there, because it ain't no different than being in jail than out there, you might be around co-workers and you might have an idea, like, listen, I want to start my own business. But you might be around family members and, listen, we should do this or we should do that with the family. We get together for this and we get together for that. But how about we come together on this and on that? But a lot of people might not agree with you. Or a lot of people might be like, well, you're always trying to do too much more than that. Now, why can't we just, and some people will just, you know what I'm saying? They just want to settle. Why can't we just? No. Ain't no justing. It ain't no let's just. You know what I'm saying? This ain't the time for that. We see what's going on in the world today, right now, where there's so many different things, people losing. This inflation and all of this stuff that's going on, people losing. People ain't got enough in their retirement plans. People ain't got enough in their savings. People ain't got no money they can turn to. People barely have enough to bury their loved ones when it comes to funeral costs. People ain't got the money when it comes to somebody need a lawyer. People ain't got enough to get their car out of the shop. People ain't got enough when it comes to their credit cards. People ain't got enough if it comes to somebody else unexpectedly becoming pregnant and they need help with the baby and new things and all that kind of stuff.
SCI, Phoenix State Correctional Institution.
And it ain't no settlement. It shouldn't be. It shouldn't be. Like, we see what's going on, and I don't know if you're a person, right? And I'm hoping the audience and the people that listen to this, if you're a person and an individual who stay up on current events, North Korea keep testing missiles. They thumbing their nose at Biden right now. They keep the last missile that they tested, an intercontinental joint. And if you don't know what that means, that's one of the joints that can travel across continents. They say it can reach any land area in America. And they keep doing this because America over there with Japan and with South Korea, and they keep having these missile strategies and doing these little military exercises and all that. So this boy Jong-un on the tip, you know what? All right, y'all keep playing around America. Y'all keep coming over here and this and all of that. All right, I'm going to start testing my own stuff and showing y'all what it is, and I ain't scared either. And what's crazy is he doing it while America is going through what they're going through and trying to help Ukraine. And at the same time, he's doing this and he's also helping, what's this dude name? I can't think of this little dude off the top of my head. Putin, the president of Russia. He helping him out. And so, the reason why I bring that up is because of this. At any minute, it can get crazy. And if a war kick off and it get to going bad and going crazy, who prepared? Who really able to, if you got to really bunker down and, shelter in, what do you have to say, all right, well, I can rely on this, or I got this and that going on. We already seen what the pandemic just did. And that's how I think when it comes to critical thinking and coming up with certain stuff, because sometimes this is how you have to, you have to be prepared and you have to be ready. And in this society and in this country and the things that's going on in these current events, man, you see the kind of things that's going on. Just like when I mentioned in the last episode when I was talking about the daughters. And I was just thinking of something that my wife brought up, when it's talking about the little young girl that got killed down Mexico on a trip with her friends. And it's all on camera, them fighting and beating her up and all of that kind of stuff, and she wasn't even fighting back. And what happened? Or off of that, but then I'm gonna bring it all together. But then we just seen a joint out is it Idaho, one of them countries out there in the Midwest, where they show these girls, and one of them was a couple. They all lived in this house, and they killed 4 of them. They killed 4 of them, right? But then they say 2 of their friends went unharmed. But that it wasn't no breach entries. It don't look like no signs of that somebody broke into the house and nothing like that. And so then, right, now let me ask you, am I tripping when it comes to this? So somebody got in the house and stabbed these people to death, right? 4 of them in the middle of the night. But 2 of the people in the house ain't get touched or hurt or bothered, as though they wasn't targeted. And then there wasn't no signs of forced entries or nothing. You picking up what I'm putting down? There was no forced entries. 4 people in the house got killed, stabbed to death. Now, of course, they ain't stabbed all of them all at one time. They had to go from one person to the next person to the next person to the next person. 4 different people. And they said they had defense wounds. Now, when you're getting stabbed and you got defense wounds, then that means you was fighting back. So if you fighting back, there's no doubt in my mind also that the person that was getting stabbed was screaming, right? So the other 2 people in the house that didn't get harmed, and I'm going to say this, if they wasn't the people who did it, how you ain't hear this? How you ain't hear 4 people fighting? Because they said they all had all of these defense wounds. How you ain't hear 4 people getting brutally stabbed to death in your house and you ain't hear it? That kind of like threw me off. But still, like back to from that. And listen, I wouldn't be surprised if it come out through this investigation that they go ahead and arrest the other people in the house. I wouldn't be surprised. If I was a betting man, I bet that those people had something to do with it or knew the people that did it. Coming back to this young girl that got killed down in Mexico and what happened down there, it made me think about some of the things that go on, like with the women. And it's something kind of like, and I'm going to piggyback off of something that I was mentioning in the last episode when I was talking about my daughters and their safety and how, we need to try equipping our women with a certain sense and an idea of how they should carry themselves when it comes to moving out and about in the society and around people and things like that so that they won't get taken advantage of. And it might, ruffle a couple of feathers in what I'm about to say. But I want to be clear. This is about understanding the land we live in and the world we live in. Because in America, there's a difference in some of these other countries where the laws are different. In America, with having all of these prisons that we have, right, the crime rate is still crazy. Like, people ain't afraid to go to jail. Think about it. We got lethal injections, we got electric chairs and all of that stuff, right? Dudes are still cut your whole face off and wear that joint. Dudes will come and get you, right? Lock you up in their basement and hide you for the whole summer and the winter and everything for as long as they can. Remember, what city was that? Was that Ohio? What was the city where the dude had all of them girls up in his house and had one of them pregnant, and one of them had managed to get out of the house? Remember that? And escaped, and they made it a Lifetime movie and all of that? And then when they locked him up, the Joker wound up committing suicide and killing himself. He had them girls locked up in there all that time. They could put him in a jail cell. He can't take it and kill himself. Nut. But dudes do all of these kind of crazy crimes, right? And I ain't talking about because we got levels to crimes. I ain't talking about some sucker punching somebody or snatching somebody's pocketbook, even with the carjackings and the shootings and all of that kind of stuff. But when they're actually killing people, dismembering people, mass murders, you know what I'm saying, rapists, sex trafficking, and all of that kind of stuff, aware of lethal injection, aware of electric chairs, aware of death row, aware of life sentences and all that kind of stuff, aware of they got jails, you know what I'm saying, where they got cameras in the cells and you going to be on camera all the times. You ain't going to never get to do nothing without nobody having their eye on you. And look at it. The crime still is what it is. It is what it is. Young boys still going to schools, killing teachers and principals and little kids and all that kind of stuff. Not caring about jail. I guess because maybe, that would be one of the Russian prisons. I guarantee you Brittany Griner seeing a different type of jail than what we see over here. Because listen, where I'm at right now, these dudes is nothing like Russia. Nothing. I was just outside working out earlier. It was biting.
You have 1 minute left.
And I know it ain't nothing like Russia. But I bring that up because what I wanted to say about when it comes to the women, y'all have to protect yourselves. Y'all can't be going places without nobody who you specifically, and you kind of have the strong sense in your mind that this person not going to hurt me. When you want to go jogging in the morning, you got to have somebody with you, or your gun, or a dog. And sometimes the dog are going to get up out of there. They see it's crazy. But you got to have something with you. You might say, well, I should be able to, all of that's out the window. You should be able to do everything you want to do. But that ain't the land and the world that we live in. when you got dangerous men out here. You don't want nobody cutting your face off and putting it on theirs. All right? Pay attention. Y'all heard Becky with the nappy hair. She said my 15 minutes of fame is up. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh to the Muslims, to everybody else. Salute. Bundle up. It's cold out there. It's the winter time. Be safe.
Thank you for using